All right, Shalom, Shalom, Israel is Brother Kazak Magun. First and foremost, want to give all honor and glory to the Most High Yahweh, by Shema Mashiach, Wamalak Yahushai. Right, so this is going to be a quick video, touching up on signs of the times and current events, man. Right, so let's get into it without further ado. It says, this is an article by, it says the author's name is Danielle Weiner Bronner. Okay, Danielle Weiner Bronner. but no father. It says Danielle Weiner Bronner, and by ABC 7 News, Chicago. It says inflation, right? And that's the topic of the article. Inflation, right? Let's Google what inflation means. Let's get the inflation definition, right? It says the action of inflating something or the condition of being inflated, right? Let's get something else. That's the one I wanted right here, economic. That's the economic definition. A general increase in prices and fall in the purchasing value of money. Right, so it says a general increase in prices, right? And what's inflating right now? What's going on in Babylon the Great? Let's see. It says grocery restaurant prices spike. Food is more expensive than it has been in decades, right? So it says, hey, food right now is inflating, man. And if you've been in the stores recently, if you've been in Walmart, if you've been in Sam's Club, Ultra Foods, Burcott's, Save-A-Lots, damn Cubs, damn Dominic's, any one of these stores, Jewels, you see that the prices of food is, especially meat, you see that the prices of food is increasing, increasing drastically. Right? So once again, the title of the article is Grocery Restaurant Prices Spike. Food is more expensive than it has been in decades, right? So it says food ain't been this expensive in decades, man. What is this telling you? When the price of something is increasing, that means that the supply of it is running low. So if the price of food is increasing, then the supply of food is running low. That's all that means. And if it's running low, what is that gearing up to? What is that telling us is coming? A famine is coming. A biblical scale famine is coming to America, Babylon the Great. Right? But let's get into the article. It says bad news for American customers. It's getting more expensive to dine out, and it's getting more expensive to eat at home. So it's getting more expensive to eat out, and it's getting more expensive to eat at home. You damn near paying $20 for a 10-piece wing, man. A 10-piece wing dinner from Sharks. You probably damn near paying $20 for that now. It's crazy out here. Prices of food is increasing drastically. It says restaurant prices spiked 5.8% over the 12 months ending in November without seasonal adjustments, the Bureau of Labor Statistics said Friday. That's the largest 12-month increase since the year ended January 1982, right? It says, and unfortunately, for those hoping to curb spending by turning to home cooking, grocery prices are also at high records. So, hey, you got it in the restaurants and you got it in the grocery stores that they setting record high prices, man. It says they jumped 6.4%, the largest 12-month increase since December 2008. So from January 2021 to right now, December 2021, the food prices jumped 6.4% on average. They said that's the largest, jump since 2008. It says beef had the most dramatic increase with the 20.9% spike in prices. right? And all this shows that, it's a scarce amount of food. You know, it's a scarce amount of food being produced. It's a scarce amount of food being, being what is it, distributed. You know, it's not like how it used to be. It's not abundant. You know, the Lord is showing us the signs of the times, man. Right? Let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 42 and verse 9. Right? It says, "Behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare before they spring forth. I tell you of them," right? So the Lord said, before these things come forth, He tell us of them, right? So the Lord told us that these famines were going to come. The Lord told us that these plagues and the pestilences were going to come. The Lord told us these things, you know. The Lord speaks by the mouth of His holy prophets, man. You know, He told us by the mouth of His holy prophets. Let's go to I'm gonna get Amos, and then I'm gonna go to Jeremiah. This is Amos 3 and 7. I'm gonna start at 6. It says, "Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and Yahweh have not done it?" Right? It says, "Surely the Lord Yahweh will do nothing, but He revealeth His secret unto His servants the prophets." Right? So the Lord, He reveals His secrets unto His servants the prophets, and then it's the job of the prophets to go out and distribute the information and prophesy what the Lord said was coming. You know, so we've been prophesying, since 1969. Since the One West camps, was established. Because I don't believe any Christian, organization or church has been prophesying of a famine coming to Babylon the Great, aka America. I don't believe so, but since 1969, we've been prophesying that destruction, death, and famine, is coming to America. For all the rape, rob, and murder and bloodshed that they cause, to the chosen people of the Lord. So let's get Jeremiah 28 and 8, because this is what our forefathers did. We're just following in their footsteps. It says, "The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesy both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence." Right? So we out here to prophesy against Babylon the Great, man, of war and of evil and of pestilence, because the Lord said that all these things were coming to America, right? And all these things happened in the old days, right? Let's go to the Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 9. It says, "The thing that have been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done, it is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun," right? So it's no new thing under the sun. And what have we seen happen in the ancient world? We've seen famines. We've seen famines come, and Salakia. Let's get an example of one. Let's go to Genesis. I believe I want chapter 41. Genesis chapter 41, and I really want to get to the point. Salakia. This Genesis chapter 41 and verse 25, Joseph interpreting the dream of Pharaoh. Right? It says, "And Joseph said unto Pharaoh, the dream of Pharaoh is one. God hath showed Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good kine are 7 years, and the 7 good ears are 7 years. The dream is one. And the seven thin and ill-favored kind that came up after them are 7 years. And the seven empty ears blasted with the east wind shall be 7 years of famine. Right? So the Lord can cause 7 years of famine to come to Babylon the Great, just like he caused 7 years of famine to come to Egypt. Right? It says, this is the thing which I have spoken unto Pharaoh. What God is about to do, he showeth unto Pharaoh. Right? So the Lord showed what he was about to do unto Pharaoh in his dream. Said that he was going to bring seven good years where you're going to reap a lot of crops and and a mass amount of produce. But you also coming right after that, you're going to have seven bad years. You're going to have 7 years of famine, where it's not going to be no food at all. Right? So I'm going to jump. It says, verse 30, it says, behold, there come seven years of great plenty throughout all the land of Egypt, and there shall arise after them 7 years of famine, and all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and the famine shall consume the land. Right? And that's a nasty precept, because America is known as Egypt, man. America is known as spiritual Egypt. Right? And the Lord is about to send plagues upon spiritual Egypt. Right? Let's just prove that this is Egypt. Revelation 11:8, it says, and their dead bodies, it's the classic, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. Right? So America is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. Why? Because it's Sodom, because they pushed the homos, the LG, the alphabet community, and this is Egypt because why? This is the land of our captivity. They show you on the back of the dollar bill with the pyramid. They prove to you that this is Egypt all over again, because the Hebrew Israelites were enslaved in Egypt, and the Hebrew Israelites were enslaved in America. This is modern day Egypt. Right? Let's get another one to show that. 2nd Esdras chapter 15. This whole thing kind of crazy, man. Let me see. I'm gonna just get to the point. Right? 2nd Esdras 15:10, it says, behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. Right? So right now, the Lord's people, he said in the last days, his people will be dwelling in the land of Egypt. This is not a physical Egypt. This is a spiritual Egypt. This is talking about America, Babylon the Great. Right? So Salakia. Let's get another example of famine in the scriptures. Right? So the Lord can cause the famines to come. And the Lord sends spirits out on the earth to cause these famines. Right? The Lord can send a spirit out to cause it not to rain. The Lord can send a spirit out to cause the sun to torch the earth and the crops not grow, so the cattle can't eat. And the cattle can't eat, so they die off. And we can't eat the cattle, so now we dying off. The Lord can cause that to happen. Let's go to the book of Sirach. (39 and 28). It says, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Right? So the Lord, has a spirit that he created, to cause famine on the earth. Right? And there's different ways that spirit can cause famine. That spirit, like we said, the Lord can hold back the rain, like we saw the Lord do. Let's go to it. In 1 Kings, the 17th chapter. It says, 1 Kings 17:1, and Elijah the Tishbite, who was of the inhabitants of Gilead, said unto Ahab, as the Lord God of Israel liveth, before whom I stand, there shall not be dew, nor rain these years, but according to my word. And the word of Yahweh came unto him, saying, Salakia, that was it on that. But the Lord said that there shall not be dew nor rain these years, according to his word. So the Lord can hold back the rain. right? The Lord can hold back the rain and cause it to be a famine, and cause it to be a great famine in the land, you know? Something else that the Lord can cause to happen. The Lord can stir up spirits in the king's heart. Salakia. Let's go to it. Is that what I want? Salakia. Proverbs. Is it 21? Proverbs 21:1. It says, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So the Lord can cause up, the spirit of a king to have him besiege your land, to have him send his army and besiege your land, and now your land is besieged, and now you're in the midst of a famine, Like we see in, let me see if I can find this precept kind of in the cut. If not, then I got another one that I could grab. That's a classic. But I want to grab this one in Judith. I believe it is the 7th chapter. And is it verse? Is it verse 8? No, that's not what I wanted. I found it. Right, so I'm gonna start at verse 1, and then I'm gonna jump down. Right, so back when Nebuchadnezzar, was conquering, was was conquering and besieging all the lands, right, and he came up against us around 605 BC, and besieged us. He sent his generals, Holofernes, and they came and besieged us, right? And Judith is giving an account of that, right? So this is Judith 7:1. It says, the next day Holofernes commanded all his army and all his people, which were come to take his part, that they should remove their camp against Bethulia, to take aforehand the accents of the hill country, and to make war against the children of Israel, right? So this was their strategy right here. This jumping down to verse 12. It says, Salakia. It says, remain in thy camp. Judith 7:12. Remain in thy camp, and keep all the men of thine army, and let thy servants go into their hands the fountain of water, which issueth forth of the foot of the mountain. For all the inhabitants of Bethulia have their water thence, so shall thirst kill them, and they shall give up their city, and we and our people shall go up to the tops of the mountains that are near, and will camp upon them, to watch that none go out of the city. Right, so they besieged the city to make sure that nobody was going out of the city, and they stopped the water supply. They stopped the water supply, so the people within the city, they can't get no water, and they go die of thirst. A famine is gonna happen. They can't water their crops. All these things can happen. And can trickle down and cause a snowball effect. For other things to happen. And a famine to be caused, right? Salakia. I'm going to jump down to verse 17. It says, so the camp of the children of Ammon departed, and with them 5,000 of the Assyrians, and they pitched in the valley and took the waters and the fountains of the waters of the children of Israel. Right? So they got control of our water supply. It says, then the children of Esau went up with the children of Ammon and camped in the hill country over against Dothan, and they sent some of them toward the south and toward the east over against Ekrabah, which is near unto Chuzi, that is upon the brook Machmer. And the rest of the army of the Assyrians camped in the plain and covered the face of the whole land, and their tents and the carriages were pitched to a very great multitude. right? It says, then the children of Israel cried unto the Lord their God, because their heart failed, for all their enemies had compassed them round about, and there was none way to encamp, to escape out from them, from among them, right? So we was besieged, right? So I'm gonna jump down. I'm gonna just keep going. It says, thus all the company of Assur remained about them, both their footmen, chariots, and horsemen, 430 days. Right, so 34 days. It says, so that all their vessels of water failed, all the inhabitants of Bethulia. Right, so they besieged it 34 days, and everybody vessels of water failed. Meaning what? Everybody water was empty. It was all gone. They used it all, and they couldn't, and they was thirsty. They was over there dying of thirst. It says, and the cisterns were empty, and they had not water to drink their fill for one day, for they gave them drink by measure. Therefore their young children were out of heart, and their women and young men fainted for thirst, and fell down in the streets of the city, and by the passages of the gates, and there was no longer any strength in them. Right? So, this is an account of us going through a famine, man. Us going through a besiege, a famine by besiege. This is another way that a famine can come, unto America, right? And this is another way that a famine is going to be caused in America, because it's easy for, these other countries like Russia, Japan, Iran, all these other countries, it's easy for them to come, and besiege America, just make a military blockade with their naval ships, and it's that easy, and it's coming to America, right? Let's get another one. Got to get the classic. Can't leave it out. 2 Kings 6:25. It says, and there was a great famine in Samaria. Right? So now we touching on the northern kingdom. It said, and there was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it until an ass's head was sold for 80 pieces of silver, and the fourth part of a cab of dove's dung for 5 pieces of silver. Right? So it was a famine, and it was so bad, that they was eating, an ass's head, which is a donkey. They was eating a donkey's head, selling it for 80 pieces of silver. Right? I believe that's 80 pieces. Right, that's 80 pieces of silver, and the fourth part of a cab of dove's dung, so dove, a pigeon's poop, it says for 5 pieces of silver. They selling pigeon poop for 5 pieces of silver, just to eat it, just to have something in your stomach, to take that pain and that grumble away, and that's crazy. And these times are coming to America, even the scraps, the food that people usually don't eat. They real expensive right now. They real expensive. And they gonna get more expensive, because those gonna be the last things that's up on the shelf. The things that people really don't eat. And those things are gonna grow more and more expensive. And people gonna be eating a lot of unusual things. People gonna be eating each other. Let's get to that. This Verse 26, it says, and as the king of Israel was passing by upon the wall, there cried a woman unto him, saying, help my lord, O king. And he said, if Yahweh do not help thee, when shall I help thee? Out of the barn floor, or out of the winepress? And the king said unto her, what aileth thee? And she answered, this woman said unto me, give thy son, that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow. So we boiled my son, and did eat him. And I said unto her on the next day, give thy son, that we may eat him. And she have hid her son. So this lady got finesse, man. So a woman came up to her, was like, hey, we hungry. I'm hungry. You hungry. We both got kids. Hey, how about we eat your son today? Cook him up, season him down, and marinate him, and do that. We eat him today, and then we go eat my son tomorrow. So me and you can survive some more days. Have some food in our stomach. So she was like, oh yeah, cool, we could do that, because I am hungry, right? So they cooked her baby and ate it, right? They ate it, probably enjoyed it too. Probably was smacking on the fingers, all that, Probably was good. Probably rubbed her stomach after. Probably slept. Probably had the best sleep that she had, since the famine started. After she ate her son, and then the next day came, and it was the next woman's turn, and she asked for the woman's son. Like, come on, it's your turn. And the woman hid her son. Like, nah, you're not getting my baby. So she got finessed, man. And that's coming to America in a big way. Not so much the finessing part. Well, it's gonna be a lot of finessing going on, but I'm talking about the cannibalism part. It's gonna be people eating people in these last days, man. You could go watch movies like The Road. You got the Book of Eli. It was a lot of cannibalism going on, in these post-apocalyptic movies, because even Esau knows that these times is coming upon the earth, man. The Lord said that these things were coming upon the earth, and I get this last precept before I close out, because I don't want this to be too long. Salakia, but hey, we going through the spirit, right? The Lord said that America was going to be destroyed in this way, man. Revelation 18:8, it says, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord God who judgeth her. Right? So with that, a famine is coming to America, whether you love it, believe it or not. It's time to get right with the Lord, repent. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you are the children of Israel. It's high time to awake out of sleep and keep these laws, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability, to Lord willing make it up on them chariots and receive salvation, while America and our enemies receive their destruction simultaneously. With that, it's Brother Kazak Magun. All honor and glory to the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Shalom.